I could really use some advice. For weak affair, ongoing, kids involved. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Huge thanks to whoever reads and comments. This is a lengthy post. I 37M have been with my wife 37F for 14 years, and we have 2 kids together. My wife has a fearful avoidant attachment style due to her traumatic past, including a controlling and neglectful father and an enabling mother who was recently divorced and emotionally jaded. Her family dynamics are complicated, with a brother who's a party animal and addict. A sister who she is closest to that has had a significant influence on her life. Her sister has been in 4 different relationships with men who all abused her, started an OnlyFans account during COVID, had a sugar daddy relationship, and OD'd 2 ex. I, on the other hand, have an anxious preoccupied attachment style stemming from my own childhood trauma leading me to believe love needs to be earned. We met at 23 and were deeply in love. After having our kids, I became a workaholic to provide for them, and we went from being in debt to having significant assets. However, this came at a cost, and my wife felt neglected and wanted a divorce. We managed to reconnect, but we spent 2 years apart where she lived with her sister and our kids while working in KY. I worked as well and sent money and visited often, and over the course of these 2 years we both became much more attentive partners, improving in a vast number of ways. We moved back in together in CT at the start of the school year. Things seemed to be going great. She was helpful around the home, sex was great, we would go on dates often, and our kids were over the moon. At the start of this year things got rough. I was going through tons of turmoil at work. I was overworked and all my friends were getting laid off. I was so sad, and instead of turning to my partner I held it all in and let it build resentment and frustration. My wife grew frustrated at me withdrawing and I didn't know how to respond. I didn't want to seem weak and ask for support, I just wanted her to give it without me asking. Eventually, we got into a fight because I withdrew, she followed suit and also withdrew, making me feel more neglected. She likely felt the same. We argued and I confessed that I needed to tell her that 9 years ago I had a ONS and was telling her now because I couldn't live with the lie. I also told her I thought less of myself for standing beside her from a place of anger. She cried profusely and told me she was unsure of where we stood and that she was likely done and wanted to separate and go live with her sister and kids in KY. Just 2 weeks later, we had an intimate encounter, making out and cuddling, and she claimed she still loved me deeply, missed me already and wanted me to visit often. I know my wife and this was genuine. I figured this KY thing would be about a year of space, she runs from problems often, and that I would visit her and our kids often. However, immediately following this, she talked to her sister who told her to get under someone new to get over me, and that I was an abusive POS who was holding her back in life. Mind you, her sister just got out of a breakup and feeds this line of thinking to my wife every time she goes through a breakup. This led to an affair 4 days later, which bothers me, but more so is the fact that my wife is losing her shit and neglecting our kids. The kids have cried multiple times in my arms about how they feel like mom doesn't care about them, and there have been multiple signs of neglect, not being fed, not being engaged with, missing school, taken to places without car seats. They've told me that they feel like they're not important to her, and that she only cares about herself. I had to point out to my wife that her affair is causing issues for our kids, which she claimed was manipulation on my end. Later she asked them why they told me and not her. They looked at her in a dumbfounded fashion and said, "Well, Dad really cares about us, he plays with us, talks to us, and he asks us questions." She stated that she does care about them but will continue seeing her friend. Their behavior has gotten even worse since this. Since our fight, I've been going to therapy, reaching out to friends, talking to family therapists, and making sure to be more present as a father. My wife is losing her shit, asking me if I have a girlfriend, saying that she wants space, telling me to take time off work so she can go out more, then yelling at me the next day for not talking to her, asking where I'm going all the time, telling me she doesn't want a divorce but if I have to so be it, claiming that her whole world is falling apart but she's fine and more than capable of watching our kids. She told me that she doesn't care about me at all as she yelled at me crying. I've never seen her like this. She's spending exclusively on new clothes and beauty products for her dates. Meanwhile, I'm planning our son's birthday party and a special party just to celebrate the kids because they said it would make them feel special. I don't trust sending my kids to KY with my wife's current mental state. Every family therapist I've talked to has told me that I need to get the kids in my physical custody and out of mom's by any means necessary. They've stated that my wife is extremely codependent and is absorbing her sister's personality as a result of our fracturing relationship. The therapist stated my wife is in a state of shock/trauma and that my words about her worth did more harm than the cheating. She states that right now and probably for another month or two my wife will continue to have no remorse and selfishly do whatever she needs to avoid confronting her emotions. My wife has also started drinking a lot more. My wife is going on a week-long vacation to FL with her boy toy. I had paid for this to be a trip for her and her siblings last year, and I will be moving the kids and myself to a new apartment during this. She will come home to an empty apartment and divorce papers with about $1,000 to get wherever she needs to go. Our lease in the current apartment ends about 3 weeks after she gets back. Every lawyer I have talked to states this is 100% legal and acceptable. Every family therapist has stated that continuing in the current state is horrible for our kids and that the best thing for them at the time is to live completely with me even if it happens in this horrible fashion. I think she is going to ask to come back to our family once she snaps back into a more sane self and that she will clearly need help. I am unsure how to navigate protecting myself, the best interests of my kids, and how to help her. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Is there any fixing this or my family? I still love her, but quite frankly I feel like accepting her back has the potential to be beyond harmful to my kids and I can't accept that. A huge thanks to whomever reads this. I feel like I'm delusional for even thinking there is a path forward, but I am filled with shame and guilt seeing all the people I love and am responsible suffering so deeply. I look at pictures of our family from events as recent as Valentine's Day just so happy and carefree and feel like a failure for allowing this to happen.
Relevant comments. OK_step 7383. She failed the wife test. OP, exposed you and your kids to emotional, health and probably financial hardship for her one selfish reasons. You can put your head into the sand and hope it will pass and time will turn back till the next escapade, or you can take control of your life. In both cases you must know that she is not possessed and it was not a mistake but a total disrespect to you as a lover/father and a betrayal to the future that you were trying to build together. Move on. OP, the sooner the better. She is radioactive for you and the kids. As for helping her, do what the law tells you to do. Don't jeopardize your future for her. No one really knows. 0. I'm really sorry you're going through this. You're handling it well, and your plans sound solid. I just have questions. What does the therapist say about you pointing out to her that she's hurting you? Or about the fact that she's going on a trip you're paying for with the person she's cheating on you with? And does she make it like revenge for the ONS? Try not to overthink the future right now. What she is doing right now is totally selfish and wrong. Focus on what needs to be done in the present, and make sure you take care of your mental, physical health, and your kids. Wishing you strength and all the best.
OP. Honestly, I think her affair was a multitude of things. She's living as a single person after being a somewhat young and restrained youth, she's getting revenge on me, she's getting over me, and getting the validation she deeply craves. Trying to talk to this person at the moment is like talking to a raccoon, it won't understand and it could bite you. After she came home from the affair and basically admitted it happened, she lost her shit because I wasn't more mad and hurt. Exclaiming 3x, wow, good for you. You're handling it so well, with a look of anger. I stated that this was one of my biggest fears and that it helped me develop self-confidence because I know that I'm not someone who has their values buckle under pressure. I also said that my worth isn't defined by her or who she dates, and frankly it says more about her than it does me. During our last conversation she broke down like 3x while we talked and stated that she isn't cheating. She just hangs out at his apartment while he's at work, and that she has remorse for how everything is playing out. It's obvious AF she is cheating, but I think in her head she can't admit to it. Again, I can't talk to her because right now she can't be rational about anything including our kids.
Meme Nerd Seeker. Your ONS was 9 years ago for you, but it's only recently that your wife found out. As a betrayed spouse, I can tell you that to her mind, your entire marriage/relationship was a lie, because what can she or not trust? I am not justifying her affair, but she's responding to your then affair, in the now. Put the shoe on the other foot, and think about it. She's angry, hurt, and a multitude of other negative feelings. Was she right in how she went about? Absolutely not. However, IMO, the situation is as a result of your actions, and you should take accountability for it. How you move on from here I don't know. My post is but a why this is happening.